Hi, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are all doing amazing. I am Mambo Soleil. Girl, turn the music off. Hi, everybody. I am Mambo Soleil. I am here to give you your weekly energy reading. If this is your first time tuning into the channel, hello again. I'm Mambo Soleil. I am the founder and facilitator of the Charm School Mentorship Program, Coven Mother of Vision of Dawn Tour, healer, life coach, educator, and a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland. This is a reading I give every week for the collective, just to give them a little insight into the energies that lie ahead of them, prepare us for the week ahead. This is a free offering I give every week on either Sunday or Monday. I do have my information scrolling below. Cash apps and PayPal love offerings are very appreciated, but they are not a requirement. This is a free offering I give every week, just to pour back into the collective, because I know some of you guys do need the messages but may not be in a position to book readings. So it is Mother's Day. So I almost didn't come on just because I know that a lot of people are going to be with their families and celebrating. But I also recognize that tomorrow is a Scorpio full moon, which means there's a lot of powerful energy going around, a lot of heavy release of emotional blockages, particularly related to the maternal wounds within our ancestry, are coming up under the Scorpio full moon. So I wanted to come along and make sure that I did this reading tonight, even though for my own personal reasons, I kind of didn't feel like it. Speaking of the Scorpio full moon, if you are on my Patreon, I do have an exclusive Scorpio full moon reading where I go into a lot more detail about this moon specifically, as well as outline some things you can be doing spiritually to arm yourself while we are dealing with this really strong energy of transformation and transmutation over the next 36 hours or so. So if you are not on the Patreon, consider joining. Tiers are as low as $5, and the paid tiers get access to all of the exclusive readings, as well as the exclusive classes. Bertal says it's been a lot of release with writing. I talk about that in the Patreon reading. That's one of the primary ways that we're going to be able to release, that we kind of have to release during this time. But again, it is Mother's Day. I really don't want to hold up any of you. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who may be dealing with the absence of a mother, whether it's due to, them having passed on and becoming an ancestor. Some of us have incarcerated mothers, and that's that's a really specific kind of pain and difficulty to have on Mother's Day. If your mother is ill, there are a lot of things going on. So just want you all to know that I'm here and I'm with you. I love you, and happy Mother's Day to you if no one has already said it at this point. Hey, Kodan, I'm low-key jealous that you and Omo Morare are going to see Beyonce. But I'm also happy. That's so dope. Y'all deserve. I cannot wait to hear the experience you have after you guys go and see her. It's good to see you. Let's just jump on straight into it, because you guys know that Mother's Day is tough for me, with my mother being an ancestor and all. So I won't stay on here for too long. I want to kind of just get through this so that way I can go back to taking care of myself a little bit. So let's just start immediately with the general reading. I am using my Nightmare Before Christmas deck. This is a deck that I typically do not use, but I'm trying to get closer to it. So let's see how she shows up for us tonight. Angels, Cinemaster Spirits, walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom does the collective need tonight as we go into the week of May 12th through the 19th? Please give us wisdom about the nature of the lessons, blessings, challenges, breakthroughs, blessings we will experience over the next 7 days. If there's anything that is hidden at this time that needs to be revealed to us so that we can exercise wisdom and discernment, please illuminate that for us at this time. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Happy Mother's Day to you too, La Balin. That's actually a really good shuffle. I know I complain about this deck a lot, but yeah, that feels good. That's a really good shuffle. So let's see. See what comes up. Hi, Shwazy. Good to see you. Hmm. Hmm. We have a lot to celebrate. We really do. Three of Cups, very first card. We have a lot to celebrate, to be grateful for. This is a week where it's really important that you spend time around people who are capable of celebrating you. And this is important because our emotional health is an essential thing for our leadership this week. King of Cups, right? I don't like this deck. So this is going to be the only spread I do with this deck. I'm seeing now. I remember now why I don't use it very often. The artwork, even though it is related to Nightmare Before Christmas and very accurate, feels, I don't want to say it feels dark, but it just feels off for me. So I'm going to do the rest of the reading with another deck, but I'm going to finish out this one, right? But the King of Cups is here next to the Three of Cups because our emotional health and balance is not only important for us this week, it's important for us through the rest of this year, right? The more that we can be rooted in our emotions in a way where we see our past in terms of what it has gifted us with wisdom, with compassion, right? Instead of looking on it with shame, the easier it is for us to show up as compassionate leaders for others around us, as well as compassionate leaders for ourselves, so that we can really do the work of learning as we move forward. Page of Swords, right? The student who is learning how to wield their tongue, the student that is learning about the power of their thoughts and why it's important to have mastery over both your tongue and your thoughts, right? Are you using the power of your tongue to create mischief and chaos, like these little critters in the card? Or are you using the power of your tongue to create the future that you want and the environment you want for yourself and for others, right? If you are struggling to create that for you, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that you need to create space for your King of Cups journey, right? It's hard for us to be King of Cups when we don't have good Queen of Cups energy, right? So we think a lot of the King and the Queen as a couple, and that's one way to look at it. But the King and the Queen represents different aspects of ourselves, right? The King, power and leadership. The Queen, the internal dialogue, how it is we are dealing with ourselves, what we see when we look at our reflection, right? And I think with this Queen of Cups being under the Three of Cups, there are a lot of us that have a really easy time being in a space of emotional confidence when we are surrounded by other people who are celebrating us, who are really pouring that external validation into us, right? But how are we taking care of ourselves? What are we doing for ourselves, right? What are the ways in which we are keeping our cup full so that we're not giving from deficit, right? Um, Four of Wands. If you have not done any home protection work for whatever reason this month, I'm not going to get on your case about it being late in the month. It is late in the month. The 11th is kind of late. But Four of Wands is coming up. Because some of us need to be doing protection work over our home, right? When we think about protection work, we think about protecting ourselves from outside forces and enemies. But sometimes we need to protect ourselves from ourselves, right? So are your prayers and protections bringing out the best in you? Are they creating an environment so that when you are home, your home is a place of peace, it's a place of stability and planning? Or is your home becoming a cave where you can retreat and think negatively, right? Do your best catastrophic thinking, right? That's something that we really, really need to be thinking about this week, especially with this full moon in Scorpio. Are we creating an environment that allows for peaceful release and transmutation? Or are we creating an environment in our home that really reflects the fears that we have, right? We end with the King of Swords, and I think that this is a really interesting place to land, because what do we know about the King of Swords, right? He don't really fuck with a whole lot of people. We know that he is very stubborn and he's rooted in what he wants. He's deliberate about going after what he wants and creating what he wants for himself, right? But the main thing that I think that makes the King of Swords so powerful is the fact that you low-key can't tell him nothing, right? Now that can be a negative thing. When this is in reversal, it's negative because it creates a tyrant, right? It creates a bully. But in its upright manifestation, that King of Swords energy is dope because they can still accept the accolades of other people, but it doesn't define them, right? King of Swords is self-defined and self-driven, right? So I don't think it's coincidence that we start with the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups talking about emotional balance and health, because when you are emotionally balanced, it is easy, it's a lot easier to stand your ground, to be confident about the decisions you make, to be unapologetic about the decisions that you make. I think that some of us, and it'll be revealed with what we purge tomorrow, if I say next week, tomorrow with the Scorpio full moon. But I think when it comes to the transmutation that needs to take place, the transformation and the release, I think there are a lot of us that are beating ourselves up over the projections and the opinions of other people. And the Scorpio full moon is calling us to stop doing that, right? We know Three of Cups is a card of celebration, but in its misalignment, in its debilitation, it can also represent gossip. It can represent being so dependent on external validation and external celebration that you lose yourself, right? And that's something that we really, really got to be careful about as we go into this week, okay? So that is our general message. Girl, Shwazy, I feel the exact same way. I hate these cards too, because Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies. It's right up there, and I know this is going to sound weird, but it's up there with Poetic Justice in that it's a movie I will watch over and over again on repeat when I'm sad or when I'm going through it. So that's why I'm trying real hard to not be dismissive of this deck, but the artwork do annoy the fuck out of me. It really do. I'm going to try to do one more question with it and see if I can get over myself. We'll do that. We'll do one more question. Let's look at money. Let's look at money and see what comes up for us in the next week. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, knowledge of the ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need about the week of May 12th through the 19th as it relates to money, prosperity, and expansion in our lives? What do we need to know about our relationship with money, the way that we understand and conceptualize money, the way that we treat money as we go into this next week? If there are any challenges, lessons, blessings, breakthroughs that we will be experiencing over the next 7 days, please illuminate those for us and give us wisdom on how to handle them. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I want to thank you all for joining me, especially because it is a holiday weekend. I know that some of you guys are probably watching this with your families. If you know of anyone who would enjoy this reading, who could benefit from this message, take a moment to just share the link. The more who are here, the merrier, the better for all of us. If you have not already liked this video, please like this video as you come into the room. I would really love to get my channel to 500 people by June. I would really, really love that. So the more you share the messages that I share, if they resonate with you, the closer that will get me to my goal. So Again, if you can't leave a love offering, but you appreciate the reading, sharing the message with other people and liking the video is something you can do to show appreciation for free. I know I'm shuffling a lot, but I'm just... A lot of us have we have a lot of options in front of us when it comes to generating wealth, the type of wealth we want and the experiences we want our money to bring us. The world is open to us. And it's a matter of us taking inventory of the choices we have in front of us, acknowledging also how far we've come, right? I think that there are a few of us who have fears. Our fears around money are related to the past as opposed to the present moment, right? And that's why we're starting with the world card, because even though the world is at our feet and we have a lot of options in front of us, there are some of us, Four of Cups, that are having a hard time reconciling past decisions we've made or past negative experiences we've had as it relates to money, finances, forward expansion. And because of that, it's hard for us to see clearly the fact that we are not as stuck as we think we are, and that we are not as limited as we think we are. So the wisdom that is coming from God, from the ancestors, from spirit, about how we need to engage or what we need to do in regards to our finances this week is that we really need to get aligned with ourselves. We need to tap into ourselves, right? And we need to be in alignment with what we want so that we're not working against ourselves, right? Gemini energy of the Lover's card. The first twin flame that we have is our relationship with us. Gemini, yes, it's the twins, but it represents the divine feminine, the divine masculine in us, the duality within us. So when we are not on the same page with ourselves, that leads to chaos, that leads to stagnation. What does that mean? There are some of you guys that are chasing after financial goals because they sound right and they're not in alignment with you and what you want, right? There are some of you who are running after something because your spirit of comparison has taken you out of alignment with yourself. So right now, before we enter the Scorpio full moon, as we deal with the energies of the week ahead of us, Spirit is calling us to get in alignment with us, right? To be in agreement with us, to make sure that we're going after the right thing so that we're not moving against our own best interest, right? Now, this is coming up because we have also been chasing after things that we need to leave alone, right? We are walking on paths that are not serving us. Some of us have been doing the same thing over and over again and getting shitty results. But instead of understanding we need to go down a new road, we need to pivot. We need to understand and really trust and believe that we did our best. We put our best foot forward with an effort. And just because that effort is not going the way we want it to, it doesn't mean that we continue to long and lust after it. It's time for us to pivot. It's time for us to go down a new road and to really trust what that new road is going to bring us and what it is going to teach us. We have the Six of Wands here. Six of Wands, success, admiration, support from your peer group, people seeing you hit a milestone, you being at a space of completion around hitting your goals. Some of you all are having a hard time hitting goals because they are not the goals that belong to you, right? Instead of you being aware of just how much you have ahead of you, how many options you have at your feet, you are trying to go after something that's not in alignment with you. But once you can get into alignment and once you go after the things that are authentic to you, people will show up. You will get the accolades and the things that you are seeking, right? We end with the Queen of Cups. Now, it's not lost on me that we've gotten her for a second time. Even though this is probably an accurate representation of a mermaid, I hate this picture. I just want to say that. But what are you feeding yourself? What are you pouring into your cup? That's a question that the Queen of Cups is always asking us. Are you pouring what is going to nurture you and keep you whole into your cup so that way you can actually be a good nurturer, be a good form of support for other people? Or are you pouring poisonous things into your cup that don't serve you, that are going to make you sad, that are going to push you out of alignment with you, right? So it's not lost on me that there is only one pentacle card here, and it is the Six of Pentacles. It's not lost on me, right? Because what we need to be doing this week is letting people pour into us, not in a charitable way, but in a way where we are aligned with what it is we really want for ourselves, right? Here's the thing about the Six of Wands. Sorry. Yeah, the Six of Wands, right? Here's the thing about the Six of Wands. It's influence. It's the card of influence. It's the card of people clapping for you because they see you stepping into your authentic self. We can never be our authentic self if we're running after other people's goals. Some of you may be hearing this and thinking, well, what the fuck does that have to do with money? I will tell you what it has to do with money. If you are chasing after an engineering degree, when you've known for the last 4 years that you need to start a hair care product line, and Spirit has been driving you to start that hair care product line, but you don't want to go into beauty and domesticity because you don't think it's intellectual enough. You don't think it's impressive enough. Of course you are blocking your blessings and you are putting yourself in a position where the universe cannot give you the gifts and the riches that you deserve. You will not be able to hit your milestones because you are running after somebody else's. You are running after somebody else's riches. You are trying to execute somebody else's dream instead of standing in your own authentic purpose, which will bring you closer to the wealth and the stability that you want. So, summarize this message as it relates to finances for us this week. We have way more options in front of us than we understand. And it's not going to be until we get aligned with ourselves and that we embrace our purpose and that we are honest with ourselves about our purpose, that we are going to start to see movement and charity from the rest of the world, and that we will start to hit our milestones. If you know enough to know that you've been chasing after a financial goal that is not authentic to you and not what you want, the Queen of Cups is really calling you to get in alignment with yourself and to pour what you need into yourself so that you can move as not only a nurturer for you and a healer for you, but that you can show up as your best self in the world. Because at the end of the day, that's what the Queen of Cups is about. Am I filling my cup so that when I show up in the rest of the world, I'm giving of my best, I'm giving of my overflow, I'm giving of my blessings, as opposed to giving from my drops, my insecurity, and my deficit. If you can do that, then you will have a good relationship with your money and you will start to see change and shifts towards the positive. But if you keep chasing after things that don't belong to you and that are only distracting you from your purpose, you really cannot be surprised that your relationship with your money and your relationship with expansion and progress is fucked up. I know I complained about this deck, but I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of the reading with it because I just don't feel right switching out at this point. Let's look at our health. Let's look at our health and wellness, and then we'll wrap up with love. And then I'll take a couple of questions from the rest of the audience. Ami says, I'm still working on this. Baby, a lot of us are. A lot of us are. I have intentionally been in my hermit mode since this year started because so much of the last half of last year involved a lot of people who don't really love me or support me trying to tell me things that were not true and not fair about myself, so that I don't go after certain things, right? So that's why I've had to spend these last 5 months really by myself, minding my own business, working in tandem with my spirits. Like, low key, if you are not one of my godchildren and you are not in my blood family, I've been hard to get a hold of this year. And that's been on purpose, right? So I understand, baby. I'm still working on it too. A lot of us are still working on it. And it's okay. Use this energy of the Scorpio full moon to release that doubt, to release the fear and the scarcity, to release anything that may be making you believe that other people are an expert on your path, because they're not. You are an expert on your purpose and your path. So be in alignment with your spirits and really, really work on trusting you and trusting the wisdom they pour into you. And that'll really shift some things with those of us who are watching in terms of our finances. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits walk with me, and elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need at this time as it relates to health and wellness? Over these next 7 days, how do we need to take care of our mind, body, and soul? What wisdom will the week of May 12th through the 19th have for us as it relates to having better habits, practices, regimen around our holistic health? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Okay. Very first card is the Knight of Pentacles, taking inventory. I think this is a really good time, especially because we're in the middle of spring. We're almost at that halfway point in the year. This is a really good time for us to take inventory of the habits we need to instill, the things we need to change, the things we need to release when it comes to our health and wellness, right? Knight of Pentacles, cleaning your porch, minding your business, really looking over. It's very much a card of cleaning house, right? So some of us need to clean house when it comes to our health and wellness, right? I'm getting a download that some of you guys literally need to throw things out in your pantry. Food may be expired. Food may be not good for you. You still got that, that pancake mix or that cake batter and all that shit that you said you were going to let go of because you were going to reduce sugar, and it's still there, right? Knight of Pentacles is coming up, saying that we have to take inventory. We need to look at what we need to release and what we need to instill so that we can have good health. Two of Pentacles, get off the tightrope. Some of you guys are stretched way too thin. You're overcommitted to shit that you don't even want to be doing, right? So Two of Pentacles in reverse is asking us to get off of the tightrope. You've been under my bed listening to me. No, I'm just listening to what Spirit has to say to us. And low key, for tall, if it's you, then it's other people that are watching this message as well. So no, I've not been under your bed. It's coming up in the message, right? Queen of Wands. This is actually going to give you a lot of confidence. Not only is it going to give you confidence because whatever the things are you need to release from your diet, from your home, is going to give you, you're going to immediately see the change and the results. Me with hot Cheetos, oh my God. When my monthly happens, that is my crutch. That is my crutch. So it's not just you, it's me too, right? But once you release these things and once you see the immediate change they have over your body, over how you feel, it's really going to enliven your confidence, right? Another thing about the Queen of Wands is that she's an athlete. So some of us really need to take this time. Going back to the Knight of Pentacles and taking inventory, I think when a lot of us take inventory, it'll be easier for us to be honest with ourselves about the fact that we're not moving our body enough. So figuring out, I was about to say hygiene, a physical regimen that feels authentic for us, that gives us confidence, that makes us feel like we are strong in our body is going to be really important, not just for the confidence around appearance that it gives us, but it'll low-key help you tap into your feminine in a way that I think a lot of us really, really need right now. It's coffee for me, not us sharing our vices. I guess I have more vices than I thought I did, because when I'm on my monthly, the Cheetos are going to come out. And if I don't have a cup of coffee, Trump needs to count his days, because my coffee has doubled in price. Cans of Cafe Du Monde have gone from $8 to $15. So that orange motherfucker better count his days, because if I can't have my Cafe Du Monde or I can't have my French roast from Pete's, it's going to be a motherfucking problem. And no, I'm not about to spend $20 for a can of coffee. He needs to get his shit in order, or else it's going to be a problem. Sorry. But yes, we need to increase or change our physical regimen. That's something we really need to work on when it comes to our health. We are laughing and we're sharing our addictions, but low-key, we got to release them. Devil card in reverse, negative influences that control us, right? Some of the things that we are consuming, not just in terms of food, but also I'm getting gossip. I'm getting media, right? Some of us are watching a lot of negative media. So we got to really, really be honest with ourselves this week about the things that hold a lot of control over us. And honestly, the reason why the devil card is in reverse here is because it may have started in a way that it felt really tempting and it felt really fun, but now you're at a point where it's like, this shit don't even feel good, right? I think about, and I'm not going to put nobody on blast. There's somebody in my life that I love a lot, and they smoke a lot of weed. And y'all know if I'm saying somebody smokes a lot of weed, they smoke a lot of weed, right? And recently I've been having conversations with them where they're rolling up and they look irritated as they roll up. And so I just asked them a couple of days ago, I'm like, what's wrong? And they're like, I don't even want to be smoking this shit. Why are you smoking weed if you don't want it? But some of us are at a place where we're at a place like that with our vices. We're just doing this shit out of habit. We don't even want it, right? So if you know that that's what's going on with you, if you know that you don't even want the gummy bears, it's just that it's easy for you to chomp on gummy bears than it is to express your feelings or to say what you got to say or to release your stress, work on that, because it's not good for you. I feel like every time I get on here, I yell at y'all motherfuckers about not sleeping. Forward swords in reverse. Sleep hygiene is terrible with y'all. And it's terrible because you guys are addicted to work. You guys are addicted to the accolades of work. So it's easy for you to justify not getting the sleep that you need because you want to pour that into other things. We have one life. If we don't take care of this physical body, it will mess us up. Get the rest that you need. It's imperative. 5 of Cups in reverse. If you are dealing with depression, don't lie to yourself. Do not lie to yourself. We are, and I think we're getting better about this as a society, as a collective, as a community, but it's like we know logically that depression is a health issue, but some of us carry a lot of shame when we go through these bouts of depression. And the 5 of Cups in reverse is coming up to let you know, if you don't admit that it's there, it will continue to consume you, right? So for those of you who've been dealing with depression, those of you, I think people assume that if you deal with seasonal depression, it's just over once winter is over. No, that shit slides into spring. And if you don't actively start changing your regimen in the spring to pull you out of that depression, it will spill over. And it'll be fuck a seasonal depression. It'll be an all year depression, right? Give yourself permission to get help if you know that this is you. And help can look like a lot of things. I'm always going to encourage people to go to a therapist. Ain't nothing wrong with going to therapy, right? But if you don't feel comfortable going to a therapist, go and speak to the lady. I'm the lady, right? And I may not be your lady, but whatever spiritualist you work with that you call the lady, go talk to her, right? You may not do good with individual therapy. Go to group therapy, right? Find a life coach, but you need to give yourself the tools, because if you don't get honest with yourself about the depressive feelings, they will consume you further and they will spill over into other areas of your life. Okay? So that is the health message for this week. Let's do this love reading, and then I'll take a couple questions from the audience, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up for the night, okay? I'm starting to hate this deck a little less. I do think it's one of those things where I just got to use this deck more. Kodan, wait. Let's see. La Balin said, I notice an increase in mood when the flowers come back, but the depression does not suddenly disappear. Yeah. Mental health is just like physical health, right? It only changes when you have regimen, right? You can sit around and hope that the cupcakes and the pound cake from Christmas come off your booty through osmosis. But if you don't get to the gym, or if you don't go on your walks, or you don't go on your runs, or you don't do your yoga in the morning, it's going to stay there, right? And physical health, depression, anxiety is just like that. If you don't figure out your coping strategies, if you don't figure out your practices that are going to break you out of it, it's just going to continue to consume you. So I wish you the best with navigating that. And I wish the best to everyone who is navigating this. Not seeing my therapist. We are on a weekly schedule for a reason. Yes, good. I love to hear that. Love to hear that. Yeah. 17 books in 14 days, numbing the mind and escaping reality because depression is a bitch. And see, this is what happens to us with the workaholic, you Virgo. That's some Virgo shit. I know because my moon is a Virgo, right? I do the same thing. If I get depressed and I can numb myself with a whole bunch of books, if I can watch a bunch of documentaries, if I can listen to a whole bunch of podcasts, because it makes me feel productive. And what do Virgos want more than anything but to be of service and to be productive, right? But then it doesn't do anything with the depression. So I've just covered the depression in a whole bunch of knowledge, right? So I understand, Kodan. I struggle with the same thing. But we're going to figure this out. We got this. We absolutely got this. Okay. Being a Virgo moon is rough. We know distraction from our emotions so well. Girl, who you telling? Who you telling? I will productivity my way out of acknowledging my emotions so quick. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits to walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need about love, romance, and matters of the heart over the next 7 days? What wisdom do we need at this time? Who do we need to be, and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, or in our environment, so that we can have the best experiences of love? We can be loved by and love on those we care about in the ways that will bring us deeper connection. What do we need to know? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Hey, Lavana, good to see you. Being a Virgo moon is right. Yeah. Let's see. Perfect reading for full moon in Scorpio. Love has a lot of us down. It really does. That's just the reality of the situation. It has us sad. Some of us are really hyper fixated on mistakes of the past, what we lost, what didn't work out, etc., etc. Now, here's the thing. If you can transmute that energy into shadow work, into an opportunity to learn from whatever heartbreak you've had, then you position yourself to not only have mastery over your shadows, but to really reveal some information that gives you power, right? That gives you an opportunity for rebirth, for an ability to grow, an ability to be more aligned and more aware of your own personal deficits, but to still call in the love you want on the other side of it, right? I think some of us are struggling to take our heartbreak, that Five of Cups energy, and turn it into a Three of Swords moment where it's like, okay, yeah, I got some heartbreak, but it was meant for my maturation. There were things that I needed to learn. And now that I understand that wisdom, I am now equipped with discernment and knowledge that will protect me from having to relive that kind of heartbreak again, right? A lot of us are really struggling to go from Five of Cups into Three of Swords, and that's showing up in the cards. So again, really, really use the Scorpio full moon to release those heavy emotions that are making you run from love, that are making you feel like you can't change things. Again, if you are not a paid member of my Patreon, consider joining. Tiers are as low as $5. I think that there are some of you guys who will really, really, really benefit from that Scorpio full moon reading. So go ahead and give yourself an opportunity to have that. That actually, the video just finished uploading. Don't laugh at how slow my computer is. So probably within about 5 or so minutes after this reading is done, that will be available on the Patreon, okay? If you feel like you are stuck, if you hear yourself in what I just described, then you really need to lean into your veneration, right? What I get intuitively, especially as I look at my candle and I look back at the cards, there are some of you. Help me, Father. Some of you guys have been inauthentic with your ancestors. And what I mean by that is that whatever shame you carry about the loves that have not worked out, you're not leaving that at the feet of your spirits. You have not cried out at your altar about it, and you got to do that. Judgment card is coming up. Your spirits cannot give you wisdom about something that you are not going to them about, right? And so rather than getting wrapped up in I'm going to say it, and I know you guys aren't going to like it, instead of getting wrapped up in the self-indulgence of the depression, of hyperfixating on your past relationships, of lying to yourself and being like, yeah, I'm over it, but letting it keep you up at night, right? Humble yourself and go to your spirits and let them know it's still hurting you. Purge and give it to them. And they can turn that into wisdom that is guidance that tells you about how to move forward. Judgment is guidance from your spirits, letting you know how to act, when it's time to act, how you need to move forward. You can never get that if you're too afraid to be honest with them about what you need. So humble yourself, stop being arrogant, and admit that you're still hurting so that they can help you through it and give you wisdom about how to move forward. This will also help you guys have rest and peace. Some of you guys always joke that I do my best catastrophic thinking in the middle of the night. And I know for a fact, with this card coming up after that judgment card, that y'all do the exact same thing. Y'all put up an amazing front out in the world in front of people. But at night, you sit around and you think about every decision that you wish you could have made differently. And it's stealing your peace. It's stealing your ability to rest. You need to rest. You need to rejuvenate, right? When we don't sleep, we put ourselves in a position where we wear our bodies thin and we bring ourselves closer to the final sleep. So get your fucking sleep, right? Your love life should not be so torturous to you, and you shouldn't be so woe is me about your love life. I was talking shit about this deck, but I actually love this depiction of the Five of Cups now that I'm seeing it, right? Get out of that woe is me energy. Get out of it. The reason why some of you guys are avoiding this Three of Swords is because you know that once your ancestors get real with you about what you need to take responsibility for and what you need to stop blaming yourself for, that arms you with wisdom where you are forced to take responsibility. What is the Emperor other than the literal divine masculine embodiment of responsibility, right? The Emperor is drive. It's Aries energy, the god of war, somebody that has direction, somebody that's able to execute, somebody that sees clearly. I think that and I know it may sound mean, but it's what's coming up right now. There are some of you guys who are really comfortable with being in this woe is me energy around love because it's easy to be a victim. It's easy to be a victim. It's easy to say love never works out for me. It's easy to say I don't want to date because it's just going to be more catastrophe. But when you embrace that Emperor energy, the responsibility comes on you. It comes to you. What does a real Emperor know how to do? What does a god of war know how to do? They know how to pull out of situations that are not going to help them. If you're dedicated to being a victim, you're going to stay with the person that you know is going to cheat on you. You're going to lean into the red flags. You're going to covet the red flags, right? But when you're in your Emperor energy, it doesn't matter how cute this person is, how big they dick is, how big they wallet is. If you know they're going to fuck up your life, you have an obligation to pull out of that situation and walk away. Emperor doesn't put his citizens, he doesn't put his kingdom in harm's way for temporary gain, right? So again, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but what's coming up right now is that you need to use this week in the energy of the Scorpio full moon to release and purge. Instead of being wrapped up in the woe is me energy around your love life, really do that shadow work where you look at your patterns and you're real with yourself about what you have been accepting that you know better than. Heal, let that happen so that you can really be in your Emperor energy where you're exercising power over your romantic life as opposed to being victimized by your romantic life, okay? And that is the love reading. That is the love reading. We're all done with all 4 spreads. I must pause and just give some updates about things I'm working on so that way those of you who have questions for me have time to go ahead and write them out. How about this? Stop screaming at me. Was I being loud, sis? I was being loud. I was being loud and rude. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be loud and rude. She says, let's see. She says, I stay single as F because it's just been simpler, I assume. I think a lot of people are like that. I think a lot of people are like, I've gone through periods of time in my life where I was like that. And I had to, through therapy, through, collective work with my sisters in community who love me. I've had to come to the realization that I was being scared. I was being a coward, right? And so I got to stop doing that, and I'm not going to say that that's what you are. I'm not going to do that to you. But I'm just sharing that, I know what it's like to avoid because you're afraid. You're afraid of what you're going to have to learn about yourself and who you're going to be called or challenged to be once you learn these things about yourself. But I promise you it gets better on the other side. That reading has me crying. I'm sorry that you're crying, Sanidra, but it sounds like I did my work as a vessel. If it touched something in you, and I'm definitely here to help you talk through it. You still have, I believe you have 20 minutes in reading with me from your Patreon subscription from last month as well as this month. You have 10 minutes for both. So if you want to book a reading and we can talk about it, I'm more than happy to help you navigate it. Shwazy says, thank you so much, Mambo Soleil. You touched me on everything that has been coming up in my cards. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Again, I'm just here as a vessel. So if you guys are resonating with the message, that means that I'm doing my job right. So thank you. Okay. JL has a question. You guys go ahead and continue to type out your questions if you have them. I want to let you guys know that the Taurus season sale is still going on. I know that the flyer says it ends May 10th, but I'm just going to write it out for the rest of the season. So you have until May 19th to use the code Taurus, TAURUS, at checkout at my website, soleilconjureshop.com, to get 25% off of any services or readings, any order that is $60 or more, okay? Also, we still have a few days for people to sign up for the Healing Hearts Forgiveness Journey. Me and Monte Grand PA did an info session about that this past Thursday. So if once this reading is done, you're just like, oh my God, I miss Soleil. How can I watch more of her? Go ahead and watch the info session to learn about the program. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be participating in it as well as supporting Monte Grand PA in an assistant capacity. So I think it's going to open up a lot of breakthrough for a lot of us. So consider joining us with that. I have settled the dates for Sacred Alignment, which is my Divine Feminine Retreat. We will be in Sedona, Arizona, June 18th through 21st of 2026. I will begin advertising that this week. So if you guys would love to join us in Sedona next year. I wish it was next week, child. Next year for deep transformation, spiritual alignment, and learning more wisdom about how to nurture not only the divine feminine within you, but the divine feminine within your bloodline. Consider joining us next year for Sacred Alignment. I don't think I put the link down to the WhatsApp group this time, but I will be back on Thursday for another happy hour reading. So I'll have the information then. And as always, join my Patreon, exclusive classes, exclusive readings. Full moon reading is up. The mid-month readings for Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water signs will be up by Friday. We have our first class for the month, which is Emotional Intelligence versus Emotional Maturity, already up. The replay is available if you join the paid tier. And then our class next week, which is about, if I'm remembering correctly, I feel like it's about different forms of domestic magic. That will be next week. So join my Patreon. If you are not in a position where you are financially ready, or even just in terms of time and energy, ready to commit to a coven through Charm School, consider joining the Patreon. You're not getting the same level of magical wisdom and information as you would in mentorship, but it is still a great place to get started if you know that for whatever constraints you don't have the capacity to do so right now. Okay? So it looks like we have 3 questions. First is JL. I've been experiencing a really dark depression that's consuming everything. Why do I feel so bad? What does Spirit recommend? I'm sorry to hear that, JL. Let's see what comes up. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits are walk with me. What does JL need to know about her depressive energy? What do her spirits want her to know about how to take care of herself during this time? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You need to pray to Ori more. I know that you wash your head and that you feed Ori because we've talked about it in the past. But there is a misalignment there, right? And I think that we can do that sometimes, whether it's relationship to Ori, whether it's relationship to the ancestors. I've seen people do this with God. I've made the mistake of doing this with God, right? Where we can get wrapped up in the regimen of a thing, but we're not actively interacting, right? So you're right. 5 of Cups, you are dealing with a depression right now. It's really hard for you to see clearly. There's a lot of hyperfixation on not just the past, but the negative aspects of the past. And that has to do with Sun card in reverse. You're not tapped in to your Ori in an active way, right? And so you feel lost. You feel not protected. Um, all of the things that are the reversal of Leo energy, right? Leo is baby. They believe that people are going to take care of them. They believe that they're worthy and deserving. So again, because you're out of alignment with Ori, you're having that opposite experience, right? Ace of Wands. You need to engage in new aspects of regimen, right? And these things are going to really enliven your passion. If you have the time just for a quick 10-minute check-in with me sometime this week, let me know so we can get on the phone and I can figure out what that looks like for you, like how you need to further outside of just praying to and being present with Ori. There's more that needs to be altered in your regimen, and we can talk offline about what that looks like. Okay, JL? But I'm sorry to hear that you're dealing with that, and I really hope that this passes for you sooner than later. Okay. Tori says, should I take legal action or spiritual action on this person who owes me money? Okay, let's see what comes up. Then we're going to wrap up with Carrie Cott, unless there's another person that has a question. If not, then we're going to go ahead and wrap up with them for the night, okay? If you enjoyed your time here tonight, if you appreciate the reading and the wisdom that was shared, go ahead and send a love offering. Again, they are not required, but they are appreciated. Both my Cash App and my PayPal are scrolling below. Ancestors, angels, ascended master spirits, walk with me. What wisdom does Tori need at this time about the person that owes them money? Do they need to take legal action or should they take spiritual action? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Yeah, if you have the capacity to book a reading, that would probably be best so that way we're not just, talking for like 10 or 15 minutes, right? That'll give you enough time for us to really get down to the heart of the matter of what's going on. But if you just want to get like a quick little brief check-in, I don't mind giving you like a 10-minute phone call before the week is over. So I'll let you decide what you want to do and then we'll go from there. But I'm gonna be real with you. As soon as I get off of here, I'm scraping my makeup and going back into the bed. And speaking of depression, Mother's Day is really hard for me because my mother's an ancestor. And when you tie that with the fact that my family is on the other side of the country, today's just been really rough. So I probably won't be able to touch in with you about booking and stuff until tomorrow, but we'll figure it out. Clarify the Hangman. You need to do a working, but it's not the kind of working you think, Tori. This person is lying to you, obviously. Yeah. This person is lying to you. So you need to do both. You need to take legal action and do spiritual work. Hangman, clarify about the World card and the Tower. Hangman, there are things about this situation that they are hiding from you on purpose, and the Hangman talks about a need for a paradigm shift. The World card and the Tower, clarifying the Hangman, tells me that in order for you to be protected in this situation from a Tower moment, you need to broaden your world, and that does include legal action. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So this person ain't got it. They haven't paid you back because they ain't got it. And with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, so I'm going to hold it upright so you can see this artwork. So you see how these are these mice that are like running around and being miserly and like hiding their cheese. Well, it's in reverse. So he don't even, I'm assuming that this is a male. I don't know what their gender is, but this person doesn't even have the money to give to you. And they're trying to hide that. Like they probably have significantly less in their bank account than what they owe you. So there's like a lot of tight knit holding on to our crumbs kind of energy. And the reason why I said that you need to do a working around them for truth revelation, because they're lying to you, is because, yeah, Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. They are lying to you. They're manipulating you. They're not going to give it back to you. So, yeah, baby, you're going to have to take them to court. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are going to have to take them to court. But, yes, you're also going to have to work the situation so that their lies are revealed. Because they're going to lie to you. They're going to hide things. Yeah, you got to do both, baby. This don't sound like a fun situation, but yeah, you're going to have to do both. I'm going to do 2 more questions and then I'm going to get out of here for the night. I respectfully, y'all know how I am. I'm a generous person, but I'm not going to do 50,000 questions with no love offering. And oh, let me shut my black ass up. A couple of y'all did send a love offering. Okay. Sorry, but I have to be honest with y'all sometimes because y'all don't always. Hold on a second. Actually, no, y'all didn't. Only one person did. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and, and read all night. But I will try to do as many as I can. So Carrie, an ex, texted me a few months ago, and I didn't respond. He texted me Mother's Day, and I texted him back, thank you. Didn't curse him this time. Does he want me back? Okay, let's see. We will see, Carrie. Let's see. Ancestors, angels, ascended master spirits to walk with me. Does Carrie's ex want her back? If so, why? What wisdom do we need to know about this? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Okay, because I'm nosy, I'm gonna make sure I do that one. Cause girl, what the fuck? Sorry. Let's figure out your situation in just a second after I'm done with Carrie, okay? So here's the thing. He wants you back, but he's not gonna change. He's not gonna change. He misses you. He misses your divinity. I hate this representation of the Empress because what the fuck? But yeah, he misses your divine femininity. He misses having you as a nurturing, beautiful, loving woman in his life, which the artwork does not depict that. So why the fuck? This deck gets on my goddamn nerves. But anyway, like, yeah, he misses you. There's a craving there. He really, really wants you. But nine of swords in reverse. Wounded warrior, he's not going to change. He's fine with wounding people. So he's not, whatever wounds were caused in the breakup or that led to the breakup, they have not gone away. They're not going to go away. And he is still wrapped up in his selfishness. So here, and I say this to people all the time, and I had to learn this the hard way in my late 20s. Somebody missing you is not a compliment. We think it is, but it's not a fucking compliment. Especially if that person only misses you because they're craving whatever supply or fix you gave them, right? If somebody misses you and they know that they don't have you in their life because there was behavior that needed to change, but they low-key kind of get off on causing that harm and they don't care about how they run over people as long as they get what they want, that shit's not a compliment. So yes, he wants you back, but girl, it's going to be more of the same and he just going to stress you out and kick your back in more. Okay? All right. So we will do Ami. We will do Ami. Tori, is it 2 Tories on here tonight? There's a Tori and a T. Allen. T. Allen, if you are my Tori in mentorship, I'm probably just going to answer your question one-on-one later in the week. Because if I'm not mistaken, we have your consultation soon. So I would rather just deal with that in the consultation as opposed to answering that tonight. Again, I'm on here longer than I want it to be. And I really do need to wrap up soon. Hey, Zena. So we'll wrap up with Ami. And then I'll be done for the night. Ami, I gave Ami a reading and they didn't heed the message. They are choosing between birth control and being open to motherhood. What guidance does Spirit have on timing? Ancestors, angels, and master spirits to walk with me. What wisdom does Ami need at this time about their options? What wisdom do the spirits in her court want her to have? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You have to make a sound decision. So I'll say it this way, right? When it comes to issues around birth control and reproductive rights and freedom, spirit is not as parochial as folks want to make them out to be, right? And what I mean by that is that people will try to convince you that the ancestors will shame you if you make certain decisions, But the King of Swords is saying that you have to be strategic. You have to think about your overall future. You have to make a decision from logic as opposed to emotion. And I know that's really, really hard given what you're grappling with right now. But Spirit is saying think logical, be rational, try to deprioritize emotions because you don't want to make a permanent decision based off of your emotions. Five of Swords in reverse. Up until now, I'm saying up until now because hopefully you will take the wisdom. Also, consider booking a private reading with me if you need to talk about this in more detail, because it sounds like there's some details being left out of your general reading, which is fine, right? But Five of Swords is in reverse because there's a lack of war strategy here. And in the present moment, you low-key aren't thinking about what you need to do in order to get through the battle and win the overall war of your life. We end with the Page of Wands. And so Spirit really wants you to not act impulsively, right? Page of Wands is learning how to move through their ambition and their impulses in a way that brings them good results as opposed to chaos or difficulty, right? So there's a lot going on here about, and this is sounds like an immediate situation. I get it. But even if it's an immediate situation, you don't want to move from impulse. So I hope that answered your question. I hope that brought you more clarity. I know that, girl, consider booking a reading with me. It sounds like we got to talk. Okay? Corey Cat says, you see this nonsense. He's so handsome and sexy, Scorpio, but he's an ex. Gotta stay in the past. Thank you, Mambo Soleil. I'm always happy to save somebody from a Scorpio man. Nobody needs that kind of heartbreak and difficulty in their life right now. It's enough going on with the economy being fucked up and Trump trying to kill us. Love you all. Happy Mother's Day. I'll be back Thursday, 8 p.m. EST for a happy hour reading. Until then, take care. Do good, be good. Honor yourself. Be kind to others, unless they try to play in your face. And then punch that bitch in the throat respectfully. Not physically. Candles can do a lot. Prayer can do a lot. But yeah, love y'all. See y'all Thursday. Take care. Bye.